So today, you're gonna be learning the basics of graphic design using Photoshop. Now, roll the intro. What is up, awesome famous Creative 5 here again, and finally I'm doing the tutorial I've been talking about for a long time, Photoshop Basics 101. Now let's get right into it. If you need to install Photoshop, just go to adobe.com, or if you can't pay for that, just go to getintopc.com and download it for free. Right now I have my Photoshop CC 2015. Now you can just ignore all this. This is a project I've worked on recently. Just hit new and you could create a new project. Let's name it Tutorial PSO 101. Now set your width to 1080 pixels. Make sure it's in pixels and not centimeters or inches. We are designers, we work with pixels. So 1080 by 1080p should be cool. Let's get it on. Just forget about the rest and just click OK. Now you should see this. Don't get scared. The first time I saw this ever, I went like, what is all this? What's happening here? It looks so confusing, but it's not. You're going to learn that today. And firstly, let's understand the workspace. This is the workspace, this whole space. On this side, you have your toolbar, where all your tools you're going to be using for design, for photography, whatever you want to use it for. Right here you have your menu options like file, options, layer, type, those menus. On this side, you have your property window, your layer window, basically description of your tools you are using. Tools on this side, your properties on this side, sometimes on top. So we'll get right into it. So on our new project, let's see. Let me break down all the tools in this basic tutorial, breaking down all the tools. So the first tool we are working with is the move tool. This is the move tool. It's used to move stuff around. You can access it by clicking V. When you click V, you access the move tool. And to use it, let's place something. You could just drag something out from somewhere in your computer, but you could click File, Place Link, then find something to place. Let's go to social media icons, Instagram. Now I want to resize this image. I just drag from the corner. Whenever you see this arrow, you just drag. And the thing about dragging like this is it's going to warp the image. You're not dragging it proportionately. You're warping the ratio. So press Ctrl Z to undo. Now what you're going to do is to hold Shift, then drag. Hold Shift, then drag. Then you drag it in the ratio that has been from the beginning as a square, as you can see. Now press Enter to place it. Now to use the move tool, just click your object and move it around. That's basically the move tool. See, Photoshop is so easy to understand. Now if you look on your right side, you can see a new layer has been created. You can see on this layer plane, you have background and you have Instagram icon. Photoshop and basically all Adobe softwares are layer-based software. So taking my hoodie for example, this black part of it is the bottom layer, the background. Then this red part of it is a layer on the background, and the white part is a layer on the red part. Do you get that? Background, layer on the background, layer on the red part. So that's how Photoshop works, layer upon layer upon layer. So let's get right into it. The background layer, the Instagram icon layer. Now we are working on the Instagram icon layer. If I click the background layer, I can't do anything with the Instagram icon layer. As you can see, the move tool is not working here until I go back to the Instagram icon layer. Then I can move stuff. So very quickly, I'm going to really run. So the next tool is the marquee tool. It's a selection tool. You can call it the marquee tool or the selection tool. Now this is the rectangular marquee tool. What does it do? It helps you select stuff in a rectangle. Simple to understand. Photoshop is easy. So if you just click, left click and drag, you should make a selection. Easy. If you need to select something quickly, something of a rectangular dimension, this is what you use. Then if you right click on any of the tools, you see options for other tools, like you can see an elliptical marquee tool here and other tools you could use. Now to deselect, you can either right click on your selection and press deselect, or shortcut Ctrl D. Photoshop is all about shortcuts. Please know your shortcuts. You just get used to it over time. Up next is the lasso tool. You can access the lasso tool by hitting L, I think, yeah, L. So lasso tool is used for selection tool, but accurate selection, like precise selection of non-regular shapes. If you're on the lasso tool right now, you could click and drag and basically draw whatever you want to draw. And when you're done, when you release, it becomes a selection. Dope, right? Ctrl D to deselect. if you right click, you can see the polygonal lasso. That's what I actually use. I don't use the lasso tool. The polygonal lasso can select by drawing polygon. Let me explain. So if you click somewhere and release your hand, your finger I mean, you should see a line that lets you just move around. So when you move somewhere else and click again, it will draw that line and you see another line moving around. So you are basically using it to trace the area of selection until you get back to the beginning. When you get back to the beginning, you see a little circle being drawn there. Immediately the circle is drawn, you could just click again, then it makes a selection. This is really good for making straight shapes that are not regular. Up next, we have our quick selection tool. This is really useful. It's like magical. Let me show you what I mean. With the quick selection tool, you could, let's just change the size up here. That's too damn big. With the quick selection tool, you could select a particular option just by clicking on once. Mind blowing. Let me show you what I mean. If I click the inside of this circle, boom, I've selected it just by clicking it. That is crazy awesome. It's like charm, like jazz. Oh my god. So let's go right to the next one. Is the crop tool. You can access it by hitting C, I think. Yeah. So to crop, you know what cropping is? You take photos on your phone, so adjust the dimension. So if you look up here on the menu options, you could see ratio. When you hit the ratio, you can make the ratio wherever you want it to be, a square, 16:9. 16:9 is basically your normal video ratio. So you could drag the edges. It's very intuitive. Drag the edges or move the photo inside to get your specific framing of crop. Then just press enter and you have cropped, basically cropping the whole image. But right now, let's just undo because we're not here to crop stuff. The next one is the eyedropper tool. It's very important. Let me explain why. Because you use your eyedropper tool to pick colors. Let me explain. If you look at your bottom left, you would see two boxes overlapping. The one on the bottom is the background color. The one on the top is foreground color. The foreground color is really important because you'll always be using that color for whatever you're doing at any point in time. So if I use this eyedropper tool to click on any color, just watch the foreground color. It will change. As I'm clicking it, it's changing the foreground color, the color I'm working with at a particular time. So if I want to work with yellow now, there are two ways I could do it. I could use the eyedropper tool. I could just come here and click the foreground color, then to give me the eyedropper tool to just select whatever color I want to select. Let's just select somewhere around pink, whatever this is. It looks like a reddish pink. So select that pinkish color. Now we can work with this color, basically. Then the next is the spot healing brush, but I don't actually use it. So up next, the brush, the actual brush, just like painting. That's what the brush is used for. But geez, using the brush is like really extensive. The usage is really extensive, but this is just basics, the basics. So now you're going to learn something. If you try clicking on this image, you get a report. This smart object must be rasterized before proceeding. Edit contents will no longer be available. Rasterize smart object. Now rasterization means you're telling Photoshop that okay, you want to edit this stuff now. I want to be able to change it. I want to be able to mess with it. So if you type something, you won't be able to like clean it or like draw a line through it or like cut out of it until you rasterize. So if I click OK, now I'll be able to draw my brush on this layer. If you look at the layer down to the right, you would see what I've drawn there. That's shown. Ctrl Z to undo. So that's basically for the brush layer. You can right click on any tool, right click to change the size or the hardness. You pervs out there, let me explain what I mean by hardness. So to change the hardness, you could slide it from 0% to 100%. 0% looks like this. It's pretty light. Then right click, 100% looks like this. Pretty thick. This sounds so... Now, that's basically all for brushes. Yeah, let me teach you something about undoing now. If you press Ctrl Z, normally you should go one step backward. Then when you press Ctrl Z one more time, you should go one step forward. It is very weird. I don't know why Photoshop has kept things like that. It changed in 2019 version, but it has been like that for the longest time. Ctrl Z will step backward, Ctrl Z again will step forward. If you want to keep stepping backward like a normal freaking software, you would have to hit Ctrl Alt Z. Ctrl Alt Z will step backward. Like if I keep hitting Ctrl Alt Z, it will start undoing everything I've been doing. You can see all the steps I've done. Now on to the next tool. The next tool is clone stamp. I don't usually use the clone stamp in graphics design. I use it in photography a lot. Let me show you what it does. If you hold the Alt key and you click anywhere on this image, you could go somewhere and just paint basically the image. It's like a clone. Stamping a clone stamp. Get it? So that's basically for the clone stand. Let's just move fast. We're moving fast. We're moving really fast. Okay. Undo, Control Z. Now, next is the art history brush. The history brush, I don't exactly use it for graphic design. Some people might use it. You can't use every single thing in Photoshop. Come on, who are you? Huh? Next is the eraser. Everyone knows what the eraser does. You could hit E to access the eraser. You can adjust the size by right-clicking and adjusting the size or the hardness. So you could just erase stuff. If you hadn't rasterized, you wouldn't have been able to erase this thing. Now, as you can see, I'm erasing my Instagram icon. Undo that. Now, what I always use apart from this eraser tool is the magic eraser tool. If you right click on the eraser tool, you should see the option for the magic eraser. If you click this, wherever you click, wherever that space is, it takes it away. It's magic. Just watch. It's really intuitive. It uses colors. The problem with it right here is that, you know, this is a gradient from yellow to pink to red to purple. So it's not actually finding a definite color to remove. If you have a box that is a specific color, it takes it away. Now, paint bucket tool. It's used to fill an area with paint. Paint bucket. Paint buckets. It's very, very intuitive. So whatever your foreground color is, if you click the foreground color icon by the bottom left, you could change it to whatever color you want. Let's choose a weird green because the green is very weird. So whatever you click with this paint bucket tool, it fills it up. Just watch. Just fills it up. Like if we try clicking into the spaces here, it fills it up with green just easily. Like you don't need to do anything. Look at our beautiful green Instagram. Now let's go to the next one. The next one is usually a photography tool, the blur tool. You can use all this thing for graphic design, but it depends on your style, your creativity, and how. I use the blur tool to blur stuff. The smudge tool is actually cool. You could use it for some, what's it called? What's the word?
2 hours later.
Some glitch effect. So if you want to create some crazy glitch effect, you can use the smudge tool. Let's try to do that now. Right click, smudge, and just try to just draw it to the right. Just keep drawing your mouse to the right to get this weird glitch effect. See, y'all are designers already. Come on. This is really weird. But you get the gist. Look, our Instagram logo is already looking very wonderful. So yeah, let's go to the next one. The next one is the dodge tool, the burn tool, the sponge tool. I use it for photography too. The dodge tool, what it does is to get things brighter, basically. So if I take this edge on the top left and I use the dodge tool on it, as you can see, it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. Then if I use the burn tool, if I right click on the dodge tool, I see the burn tool. If I use it on this bottom right, it gets things darker. It's used for correcting images. So you can see the difference, the top right, top left, and the bottom right. So up to the next one, the pen tool. Someone told me on Instagram, shout out to Mosh Kim. He told me I wanted to know how to use the pen tool. So can you believe I didn't know how to use the pen tool until like 3 months ago? Photoshop. And that's thing I learned very recently, like 1 month ago. It's crazy. I had no idea that you could change the values of something by just dragging it. For example, if I go to the, what should I use as an example? If I go to the paint bucket tool now and I go up and see opacity on the top. Now I want to change opacity. I usually just go into and just click a specific number or draw the slider. No, you can easily just do it by dragging the opacity, just going on top of the opacity and dragging it to the left or dragging it to the right. That's just Adobe. So up next, the pen tool. We're talking about the pen tool. The pen tool is used for various things. For example, you could use it to make a selection or draw a shape. I use it for masking, selection, or shapes. So I've explained that in subsequent tutorials. So if you are on your pen tool and you just click somewhere, let's say we click a point, just like the polygonal lasso that we learned about. You could click another point and click another point and click another point and another one and another one and another one and another one. So you get to the beginning. Now it will ask you at the top, do you want to make a selection? Do you want to make a selection, a mask, or a shape? Now, depending on you, you might want to select this specific part or you might want to create a shape. If we hit selection, and press OK, 0 feather radius, it will select it for you. As you can see, selects the whole part you just selected. Undo, Ctrl Z. Now if you want to make a shape out of it, you just click shape and it makes a shape out of it with your foreground color. See how all these things become important? So Ctrl Z, let's just go back, Ctrl Alt Z, just go back until you get to the beginning. Wonderful. So let's do something with the pen tool, something that's really cool. So let's go down or wherever you are in your workspace. I don't know where you're working with. So if you click a point, you can use this to draw curves, pen tool. If you click a point, then you click another point, but instead of releasing your left click, you just drag your hand. As you can see, we are creating a curve. It's really nice, not difficult. Click a point and click the next point, but instead of releasing your hand, drag it around until you can draw a curve. So let's click another point here and drag, another point here and drag. Just drag it around until it feels good. Another point here and drag, another point here and drag until it feels right. Now we could just do something like this is just very basic stuff, and click the beginning. So you have something like this now. Now we could make a selection out of this. Let's make a shape out of it. If we click shape, it makes a shape. As you can see in our layer section, you can see your background, your Instagram icon, and your shape. The shape you just created is now a new layer. You can't erase this shape until you rasterize it. So if you right click on shape and you click rasterize layer, you'll be able to rasterize it, erase it, draw stuff on it, but we don't need to do that right now because we still need it to be as a shape. So we can click on move tool by hitting V and moving this shape wherever we want it to be, at the top, at the bottom. Where would they look like? Let's make it look like let's play with it. Let's make it look like mountains at the bottom. So if we hit Ctrl T, I'm teaching you a lot of things at once. So if we hit Ctrl T, you should get your transform. That's what Ctrl T means. You can get it by hitting edit at the top, then hitting free transform, but Ctrl T is like the fast way. So if we right click on this selection, we can like transform it in various ways, like hitting, what do we want to do, rotate 180 degree. If we rotate it 180 degree, we could adjust it, bring it to the ground, so it looks like mountains. We just drew mountains. This is the basics of graphic design. You could zoom in and zoom out using Ctrl plus and Ctrl minus. This is, I told you, shortcuts. Photoshop is shortcut. Now you can see the beautiful water, waves, mountain, whatever we made down there. Now up to the next tool is the text tool. After the pen tool is text tool. Well, obviously it's the text tool. It's used to draw text, to make text. Photoshop is simple. Click and drag, then start typing. Now if you look at the top, you could make a lot of adjustments here. You could make it an horizontal or a vertical text, like going from up or going down. So you could change the font. Montserrat is my favorite font. It's been very popular in the past year or so. Really beautiful. Now we can change the font weight to from whether thin, light, medium, whatever is available. Let's keep it as, let's make it bold. Then we can change the size, the font size. You can drag it. Remember what I told you? We drag it left or right whenever you see this arrow. So we could just write it. So let's write creative Sav farm are awesome people. I hope I'm not typing nonsense. People. Creative Sav farm are awesome people. Try selecting all that. Selecting all you have typed, then going to just right at the top, you see the green color you selected before. It's actually pretty different from the one that is down here. This one is foreground color, it controls everything, but you can change the specific text color. So if I click that, I could change the color to probably black. Now in this box, you could make the color whatever you want to be specifically, or you put the color code here. I believe black is a hash 00000. Yeah, that's black. So now we could decide to drag here and increase the size until it looks good. Creative Sav farm are awesome people. Let's put it the before the Creative Sav farm are awesome people. Wonderful. This is looking beautiful. This is looking beautiful for a beginner. Come on, this is beautiful. So that's basically for text tool. We could do really cool things with the text tool by, you can see our layer. On our layer, we now have background. This eyes icon that looks like an eyeball. You can use it to make it visible or invisible. If I click the background layer, it could disappear and appear. Same thing for the Instagram. So for the shape and for our text. Now our text is at the top. If I take our text under the shape layer, if I take our text under the shape layer and drag our text, you could see that it's now behind the shape. It's behind. But if I drag it to the top, it's now on top. That's how layers work. Stacking. So if you right click on our text layer, not on the top of this square, but here, you should see our options. We go to blending options at the top. Now you have access to lots of effects. You could do really crazy things here. So blending options, you could bevel and emboss. Let's just click everything just for, don't click stroke, click inner shadow, inner glow. I did this when I was just learning Photoshop. So let's click everything. Color overlay, gradients overlay, pattern, outer glow, drop shadow. Just click everything. Let me adjust this drop shadow, it's weird. Little adjustments, make it not horrible. So press OK. Now if I press undo, you should see our difference. I've made it more stylized. This looks horrible. For a professional modern designer, this is horrible. Don't ever do this. Don't put so much stuff on your text. I'll try to explain to you guys the difference between a horrible designer that creates horrible church flyers of 1982 versus a modern designer that makes beautiful, lovely illustrations and designs. So what next? What are we adding else? What else are we adding? What are we adding else? What? So after a text tool, we have our path selection tool. I don't use that often, but let's go to the rectangle tool, or let's call it the shape tool, because if you right click, you see other shapes: ellipse, polygon, line, custom shape. So rectangle, I use it a lot, or the rounded rectangle. If we use the rectangle to draw, just click on the left and draw our rectangle. Close this property window unless you need to actually use it. But this is a property window, and you can use it to like change stuff. You can use it to change stuff on the rounded edges, like the width, the height, stuff. You can change a lot from here, from the property window. Now look, we made a rounded edge rectangle. Let's go to the layer side. You see rectangle 1 has been added to layer. See all the layers we have added. Yeah, see this text layer, all the effects we added there are just listed below. You could close that by pressing this little icon. It just minimizes it or maximizes it. I like things being very neat. There are lots of things we can do in Photoshop. I'll give you the really basics. So our rectangle, just press Ctrl J to duplicate. You could right click and hit duplicate layer, but that is stressful. You need to be fast and efficient when designing. So Ctrl J will duplicate your rectangle layer. You can see the second one on top of the other one. You can't see it in your design because they are overlapping. So just click V to go to your move tool and move it. Then you can see your second one. Move it. See what Photoshop does. Beautiful thing it does, like gives you the line so that you are really aligned to the other one. It just gives you like some line to show alignment. Wonderful. This looks amazing. Come on, for the beginner, this is wonderful. Oh my god. After our shape tool, we have a hand tool. I don't use the hand tool. I use the Premiere Pro and then what's it called? After Effects, but not Photoshop. So up next is the zoom tool. Yeah, I use the zoom tool when I don't feel like hitting the control plus or control minus. You could zoom in and zoom out. You could see Photoshop is so awesome. You could edit the individual pixels. That's just awesome. And zoom out. So congratulations. Before I congratulate you guys, let's save this. To save the project so that I could edit it later, I just press Ctrl S and save it as whatever you want to save it as. Tutorial ps101.psd. PSD means Photoshop documents. It's documents you use to save your Photoshop files. Save. Then it saves for you. Maximize compatibility. Okay, if you see this, just pop okay. Or, yeah, that's all. So if you want to save the actual image, not the project, there's a difference between saving a project or saving the image, exporting the image. What I usually do is press Ctrl Shift S, or just go to File. If you like long journeys, go to File and press where is it? Click Save As. So when you save as, under the Save As type, you click it. You see a drop down. Look for the format you want to save it as. PNG is there. JPEG is there. Lots of TIFF for printing is there. Whatever format you want, let's go to, you could save it as RAW. Why am I making so many terms that sound so, JPEG. Now, Photoshop PS Tutorial 101, press save, then it saves your JPEG file. Okay, it brings an option for the quality. You could make it low, medium, or high, or maximum. Let's just make it maximum. Forget about the rest and press OK. Boom, congratulations. Woo! Wonderful, you made the first Photoshop design. This is amazing. This is this is beautiful. Like, congratulations, you guys tried. What I want you guys to do now is to make your own designs from everything we've learned here. Be creative. Don't do it like this. This is just beginners, just for example. So create something very cool, mix it up, do whatever you want. Find inspiration on Instagram, type poster design, type logo design, do whatever you want, or post it on Instagram and tag me at the creative sap. Just tag me and I would like your product. I'll critique it. I'll say, oh, it looks cool. Okay, this needs to be this needs to be this. Let's engage outside this YouTube space. So it's been a very long tutorial. If you're still here, I love you so much. So thank you very much for watching. It's really easy. I believe you all can do it. So let's get right to it. Anticipate the next tutorial coming very soon. Until then, stay awesome, be creative, create every single day of your life. Don't waste your time. Keep creating. See you in the next video. Mwah.
I don't wanna wait for nobody. As long as with you, mommy.